Hi, gorgeous ladies. You are in for a real treat today because I have the amazing Kim Powell. Now, Kim and I worked together. How long ago was it?
I was trying to remember and I was like, I think was it 4 years? Like it
Yeah.
was in the midst of COVID
Yes.
when
Yes.
when we were in lockdown.
Yes.
Yes.
When the world had gone crazy and we were helping getting you online. And I still remember the conversation with your partner, and it was all just like, what's going to happen? And then I've just got back from my trek, and Kim reached out to me having done a trek herself, and we started chatting, and then she shared all of this, or not all of the stuff, that's what we're going to unpack today, but all of the things that have happened in your life since working with us. And I was like, I would love to just grab a little bit of your time so you could share with, our current clients any pearls of wisdom that you might have to help them along their journey. Now, the mastermind has changed a lot in the last 4 years, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But still, like it, created some great foundations for you. So thank you so much for your time. And it's been great. We've been chatting and catching up, and it's been lovely. So why don't you tell everyone, like, where were you all the way back then in your life and what was going on for you?
Yeah, it was a pretty crazy time, obviously, for all of the world. But what was happening for me and my partner at the time was both of us were working in my other business and it shut literally nearly overnight. So we went from income to no income, and it was pretty disastrous. And I thought, all right, well, I've got to pivot really fast. So I'd been doing sort of some coaching work on and off over probably the last 10 years or so, as part of my profession and leadership capacity in that business for my team and staff and everyone. But I'd just done it for free and I was very good at it, but it didn't really monetize it at all. I didn't have time. And so I thought, all right, well, I love it. I'm great at it. Let's do it. So that's when I saw I think it was like an audio ad, so something or other. Anyway, so I saw that and then I reached out to you and we had a chat and I was like, I've got to do this. So yeah, we did that. We signed up and I got my website together, went through the course, started implementing, and long and short of it is it worked really well. And I started to scale back on my other business that was very heavily hit from COVID. And it had been nearly 30 years or probably 20 something years of my life by then. So my passion was moving more towards coaching and supporting people to get the quality of life they wanted. And it was like, oh my gosh, this brings all of my tools and skills into one. And it's long term, it's sustainable, it's not just a quick flash in the pan. So it's brought me so much joy. And seeing the results that my clients have been getting is life changingly brilliant. And so it seemed like a bit of a no brainer after the like the stress of it all. It was like, no, this is what I want to focus on. So my other business is still going, and between you and me, I'm in the process of selling that. So hopefully this week contracts will be signed, which is great, and then I'll just be doing coaching full time. And so through, back then from 2020, 2021, whenever it was, till now, I'd run both businesses. And my coaching business was definitely just going gangbusters. And some of it was from, the work that I was doing with website and with, social media and things like that, and inquiries coming in that way. And then a lot of it was also coming from word of mouth from the results that the clients were having, were just telling everybody. So yeah, feeling, really grateful. And a couple of really shitty, awful things happened as well during COVID. I lost my dad. We lost our beautiful 14-year-old dog. So it was just a horrendous time. And I said to my husband, Michael, I was like, you know what? Like we'd already planned, we wanted to go and live overseas and travel a lot. And I said, let's just bring it back early and let's just make the commitment to go. So we started planning towards it, and last year in July, we went, okay, that's it, we're out. So we sort of started maybe December, the planning process, and then really quickly brought it together and we jumped on the plane, flew out. And so we're now in Thailand and living here, and it's phenomenal. We sold off most of our belongings. We really just let everything go. We burnt our bridges. We came over with 5 bags, skiing, a big skiing bag, one of them. And so we went to Japan and snow skied this year as well, which was amazing. We love Japan. And yeah, it's just been so wonderful. And if there was a blessing through COVID, it was obviously allowing the world to realize you can do business remotely. Zoom is a normal thing, and it's sort of, sure, it may not be exactly the same as in person, but it's still a brilliant, model of business. So yeah, so it's been wonderful.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Sorry, that was like a lot. Sorry.
No, please, no sorry intended at all. Firstly, congratulations, because that is an amazing turnaround from when we first met. And I do remember how tough things were, and they were really tough.
Yeah.
It's not like Kim just came in and it was super easy and she just got results really quickly. It was hard. And then also, going through the turmoil of losing your business and what was happening, and that you were feeling all of the feels, but you never gave up, and you had a very strong vision around what you wanted to create, and you were just missing the steps on how to evolve, right?
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
so Thailand, I mean, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. We were hoping for Vietnam, but the visa situation was a little trickier.
Yeah.
And so we wanted somewhere that we could hopefully base ourselves and then travel from here. And, obviously we'll pop back to Australia and spend some time in Australia. And, we're not like divorcing ourselves from Australia or anything like that. Still love it, but very excited to be away. I mean, I've had this goal to live overseas from probably when I was mid-20s. As I scaled and built my other business, it was like, I want to be a global citizen. I want to travel the world. And I had no idea how it was going to happen. And so it's fabulous that, finally here. And every day I'm grateful. Every single day I wake up and I go, oh, I'm here. We've done it. Like, I'm here. We've done it. So it's part of my morning meditation. It's part of my gratitude. Yeah, it's really, really excellent. And we've obviously with our visa situation, we have to come and go sometimes and leave the country and come back in as part of that whole process. And so we've also not just been to Japan, but we've been to Malaysia, we've been to Vietnam. So it's already we're already in this small amount of time living that global traveler feel. So it's really good.
That is so good. A lot of people don't think about, they think about flexibility from a necessity when you have young children. I know that was for me, right? So it was very much I wanted to be around the kids more, so I didn't want to have a job. I wanted to have that flexibility around choice and stuff. But then you've just taken it to a whole nother level with well, actually you have complete time freedom, financial freedom, because you can do this anywhere. You're living proof that you can run an online coaching business from anywhere. And the
as
fact
long
that you
as
have
there's
to,
good internet,
yes, good internet.
it's very important.
Yeah, so you got to select where you stay and where you go based on that. But other than that, you can have a mobile phone or a, iPad, laptop, and off you go. World's your oyster.
Yeah. So I just take my laptop, on flight now, and I'll be in Vietnam and clients are like, where are you? And I'm like, in Vietnam. Like, oh, awesome. And so, I get to share little snippets of that with them, and any challenges that I'm having. I'm not like I really like to be real there's been some horrendous times through all of this transition of 2020 to now. It feels like way longer than 4 years, but then it feels really short. It's a weird thing. So
I think it's because you've gone through so much.
Yeah.
Which is why it probably feels longer. There's been one thing after the other thing, after the other thing, after the other thing, right? So
yeah.
It's very exciting. Okay, so now I'm going to pick your brain because
Okay, go.
So what advice would you have to someone who is wanting to transition online and maybe doesn't really know, or they're not sure if, because one of the biggest things that, you know, women have, generally speaking, is that fear of being seen, or, you know, what will people think of me? What advice would you have from them having now made that transition to where you are online all the time?
I think the most important thing is to be authentic and it sounds so cliched, but it's like just to be themselves. Not everyone's going to like you. Not everyone's going to love you. You know, the internet and social media is just can be great and it can be horrendous, but I know I had to clean up a lot of my beliefs around it because I had quite negative beliefs around it and how much harm it can do. Obviously, you know, working with mental health and things like that, I see some of that from clients and families and things. So I literally had to work on my own mindset and clean all of that up and then find the good in it and realize that it can be a powerful force for good, as well as it can be, you know, detrimental to people if they misuse it and aren't disciplined in their approach to it. So that was one thing. Oh, well, probably two. So the other thing is really stay focused on what your end goal is, because you're going to get tested and tested and tested a billion times and you'll want to give up and you'll want to quit and you'll doubt yourself and you just have to keep pushing through. Like there's always a way, you just have to find it. And so that real dedication to what you want and what your goal is and what that vision is for you and your family or your partner or whatever, that's the most important thing. You just stay focused on it.
I was talking just about that on my live just an hour ago. It's so important. I love that. Yeah. Okay, thank you. What about someone who's new? Maybe they've just met one of our current clients and maybe things aren't moving along as fast as they would have hoped. What would you say?
Oh, gosh, I can so relate. It's heartbreaking because you feel like you're giving it your all and you're probably spending money you don't have. You know, we've all been there and done that. And so you're putting all your faith and hope into each new step that you're taking, and then the results aren't coming and they're just not coming. And it's like, oh my God, do I give up? Do I walk away? You know, all the doubts start again. And it's where you've got to really dig deep and go, do I believe in what I'm doing? Do I believe that this is possible for me? And really investigate those deeper level things, because if there's stuff there, it will come up and it will come to the surface for you to be able to clear it. But basically, as humans on the planet, we can do whatever we put our mind to. It's just that we have to find the right way for us to get there. And we doubt ourselves every single day. You know, it's just part of the human condition. And so it's our mind's way of trying to keep us safe and stuck in a situation. And that's the genius part of you going, well, I don't want to get hurt and I don't want this to screw up. And yet it feels like everything's going wrong. It's not moving. I'm stuck. I've got no clients coming in. I'm spending all this money. I can't afford to spend this money. Sound familiar? Like you've been there too. So you've just got to keep going. And even if it's the most tiniest, teeniest baby steps forward, they're the things that will commit your future to it into a reality.
I love that. How do you find the trust? Like, you know, just to keep focused when it's something you haven't done before. So you don't have the evidence of yourself, like I've done this before, I can do this before. Have you had a moment where you've had to like dig deep to find that trust and that belief that it'll just be okay, you know?
I think whether it's business, whether it's family, whether it's having children, living our life, we forget how much we do and how much we do achieve just on any given day. I think sometimes we take it for granted. So having trust in today is another day, like it's a new day, I will make changes, I will take action, if people sit around and they just mope, well, of course, nothing's going to change. So trusting in the fact that just do one more thing every single day that you haven't done before, or the consistency of doing that one thing, it makes a world of difference. So trust it's a tricky one, especially if sometimes people are looking at it from the perspective of comparison, where this person's doing this much income or this person's got this house. Comparison sucks. Like, it's not a good way to live. It just makes everyone upset with themselves.
Yeah.
So don't compare. Please don't compare.
It's the fastest path to basically, like, just putting a big anchor in the ground and not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So I think with that, it's interesting you touch on that, because, when you see someone else have success, right, you might be watching, this video, someone might be watching this video right now and going, oh my God, look at Kim, she's, had a physical business, everything got turned upside down, and she went online and she was able to get it going. And now she lives in Thailand and she's flying around, she's doing all of that, right? And someone will look at that and go, oh my God, if Kim can do it, then I can do it. So then their belief,
which is great.
which is great and is healthy. And then there's the other side of us that's like, well, I'm not as smart as Kim. Kim must have had like extra support. Maybe Sophie did something different with Kim. She's not, do you know what I mean? Like, come up with all of these reasons why Kim can and I can't.
Yes, correct.
And so you've got to be really mindful, if you're listening to this right now, so you've got to be really mindful around which side you're sitting on. And sometimes I used to do that as well. Like, I'd look at someone else's success and I'd be like, and I'd rationalize, well, they've only got that because of this, this, and this, right? And that's not me. So therefore I can't have that and that and that, right? But it's like available for everyone. It's just that one step forward.
Yes.
So what's next for Kim? By the way, tell everyone like what you're doing. Like, feel free to,
Well, it's very chilled out here. So we're on the beach, and we're not on an island, we're on the mainland. We're about 3 hours from Bangkok. So we were very specific with our planning. We'd never been here before. We literally found it on Google and went, sussed it out all online and made sure the internet was really good. We wanted to be close to an international airport for flights so that we can move around and travel. And we didn't want to buy something here. We wanted to rent a condo, not a villa, so that we could just close it up and go when we wanted to travel. And then, business wise, obviously I'm just so happy doing what I'm doing, getting more clients, working with more people, helping to support them and change their lives for the better. It just lights up my heart. It makes me so happy. One of my beautiful clients who came over to me maybe, I don't know, maybe a year and a half ago, she won't use any names, but she had gotten married, and they'd been married a year, and there was a lot of issues going on, and they weren't sure if the marriage was going to work. And she literally was removing herself from the home because of issues, and she heard about me through my VA, and she ended up coming, and I was still back in Australia at the time, and she did some sessions with me in person. And then I was like, well, this is my plan. I'm going overseas, let's keep working together. So we did that, and not lo and behold, but joyfully, they're now happier than ever. She's just had a baby, and when she sent me the picture of the baby, I literally burst into tears. I was so happy. It was just gorgeous. So that's the sort of life-changing results that can happen, and I'm so blessed to be a part of that. So to do more of those things for people. Emotions are emotions. Like, no matter the challenges people are going through, a lot of it is that, like, Sophie, it's all internal, and it's what we say to ourselves. It's how we think that are the things that hold us back. So if I can help people to overcome that and start to live their ultimate dream, life, then that's my goal. So I'll be doing more on the coaching business once the other business sells, and really sort of just be solely focused on it, which is so joyous for me, and not having to split my time between two businesses, which will be great. But we're having the best time. Like, I'm stand-up paddleboarding, I'm playing badminton. There's a thing called paddle, which I'd never heard of in Australia, but it's like sort of a smaller tennis thing, and it's undercover. And anyway, so lots of fun sports, getting healthier, getting fitter. I'm doing a lot of wellness work over here, and starting to investigate stem cells and, all sorts of IVs and things like that. So that'll be part of all of my coaching program as well for people and their health and well-being. So it's super exciting. Like, it's just beautiful. I'm very, very grateful and very happy and blessed.
Yeah, you're glowing, like you're just glowing. And I think it's great for people to see because it's possible. You just got to keep moving, keep putting one step in front of the other, and be really, really connected to why you want to do this. Why is helping your client? What does that actually do for you? And it's okay that it's not selfish, that it's like, I do this because like we're all fulfilling a personal like need or a desire that we have with the work that we do. I think understanding what that is, because like you said, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. There's things that are going to happen, but that's life. Like, business is not different to anything else in your life. There's going to be great days, there's going to be not so great days, but as long as you keep focused on where you want to go and what you want your life to look like, it'll all just keep putting the pieces together for you.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
so
so
happy
true.
for you. Do you
Thank
have
you so
anything
much.
else? Hey?
Thank you so much.
Oh, I was like just a little pebble on your whole journey. I'm just so grateful, to you that you didn't stop and that you were wanting to share this. And I love
Yeah,
that we met, and I still remember the conversation. It was the two of you together, and your partner, he drilled me with a lot of questions, and I was just like, yep, let's just keep talking. And it was great. So
yeah.
congratulations. Do you have anything
Thank
you
you.
want to share that we haven't touched on that you think might be helpful? Covered a fair bit.
Um, Sometimes our partners can be really helpful, and they want to be supportive and they give you everything, and other times they can be really unhelpful and they doubt you. And so if they're doubting you while you're also doubting yourself, that's fairly difficult and like such a struggle to try to keep in your own lane, because they're like, well, what's going on? There's no money coming in. And so it can be a really tricky sort of journey of that to overcome them plus yourself. And if that's happening to any of your students or clients, all I can say is just keep your focus, because it took me a while to get my husband on board to the fact that I wanted to go and live overseas and have this amazing life. And he'd never even opened his mind to that vision of possibility. He'd traveled a lot, but he was very much happy to just stay in Australia. And so, you know, I'd I'd obviously mentioned it many moons ago when we first got together, because we've been together about 10 years, but I just kept dropping the pebble into the conversation every so often, that it became, over time, he was like, thank you so much. He said to me yesterday, it was like, thank you so much for keeping this going, and showing me that it's possible. He's like, I look back at my friends now back home and I see the way they're living, and I cannot believe we're here and that you did this for us. So, women, sometimes we want our men to take the lead on our life and not run it for us, but, be the action taker. And it's actually, I've found, in most times the other way around. The women are the ones that hold the vision and the energy and the space of where we're going as a family unit or as a couple. And then the men come behind us, just bringing, it might be income in, it could be the support. So if that's happening for you and it feels really weird, please just keep dropping the pebbles into the conversation over time, and keep showing up as what you want it to be rather than how it is. Because the more that you keep moving towards that, like, let's just say if you're at one point, I was overweight, my husband was overweight, he was depressed, it was terrible. And I was like, oh my God, this is not good. And I was like, okay, stop focusing on him. I'm overweight and I'm not feeling great. I'm going to focus on me and take responsibility for myself. So I started making changes, signed up to a gym, and then a couple of months later, he signed up to a gym. So they're the pebbles that I'm talking about. Keep moving forward and seeing where you want to go, and then actioning those steps, because he has now come in behind, and been on board, even through nearly getting divorced just before we sold off all of our stuff, and big, huge fights. And oh my God, it was horrendous. Where it's like, oh, never screamed so much in my life. Like, it was so much stress, Sophie. It was the most awful time. And it was like, no, this is worth it. It's still all worth it. That last minute sell off everything, give everything to charity, what we couldn't get rid of, it was so darn stressful. And now we look back and we can laugh about it, but it was not funny at the time when we had like a week before we had to get on our flight to go. So yeah, just stay true to the vision and keep bringing your husband behind you, and sort of see what you want and have him there with you, and then he will energetically start to follow. I work a lot with energy, so sorry if it's a bit woo-woo.
We do heaps of energy work. I think that is just gold, because it's exactly what I've done with Daniel. He, when I first wanted to leave my career, right, and start my own business, right, he was like, why would you want to do that? But I just had to keep painting the vision for him, even though he wasn't on board at the time. But just keep painting that vision. It's the same with renovating the house. We can't do that. I'm like, yes, we can. It'll be fine. I just kept dropping the pebbles, and now our house is like fully renovated. I didn't even want to have a full reno, but once he came behind me, then he was like, oh, and then we should. But to get them started, and it's the same. Like, I've been dropping pebbles for quite a while around, I want to live in Italy. So I want to buy a place in Italy, have a place here, and then live around there, and then live around, And he's at first he's like, can't do that. And I keep dropping it. Now the kids are learning Italian, like we spent time there last year, and we're both Italian, right? So it's just, and I'm like, well, after the kids finish high school, I'm like, we don't have to live here anymore. And we both do things online, so just keep another pebble, just keep. So it's a brilliant analogy. I love that. I think that,
awesome.
Because we do have those moments where, we fight, with our partners, because whether it's really stressful and sometimes in business when, you're at a point where maybe you're not earning what you want, maybe there's more money going out than coming in. We've been there, right? Kim's been there. Yeah. At those moments, it's really going to test you on your belief and your vision around if you're going to keep going, versus could it be just easy for you, Kim, to go and get a job, right? Go do some consulting work for a firm or whatever else. But because you had that vision around how you wanted your life, but it can cause some frustration. I think in those moments where you may be having that frustration or challenges with a partner it's just really important to keep painting the vision as well. So I love that. Such gold. Thank you so much, Kim.
You're so welcome.
I still see your posts and everything coming up online, and I'm like, there she is, she's doing it. And by the way, what better name than Kim Power? Sophie must have actually sure, but how cool would it have been if it was Sophie Power? I would have been like, yeah.
I've actually taken a break from social media since we got here. I really needed to just chill for a bit. And I wanted to try to get the other business sold, and then I'll go back into doing my social media, and sort of, it was a pretty huge shift to get here, and the burnout was real. So yeah, if anyone does go and look, you'll see that it's sort of stopped, and it's like, I'm still here, but I actively physically chose to do that. It was like, no, I'm just gonna stop for a bit. So yeah, but it'll start soon, and then I've got a whole strategy planned for that, which I've been working on, but not ready to launch it yet. So hopefully sometime soon. which is
Yeah, but
good.
you've got the flexibility. You built the foundations and that with behind you, so you can
Yes.
choose, right? Which is awesome. Thank you,
So
Kim.
maybe what we can
Okay.
do is when you get to Italy, when you get to Italy, we'll come and visit you in Italy.
Sounds great. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Amalfi Coast, here we come. Can't
Yeah.
wait.
Or come and visit us in Thailand.
It would just drop over on the way. See, this is the great thing, ladies, about the more people you work with, the more opportunities you have to go visit. Be
Yeah.
fantastic. Thank
Yeah.
you so much, Kim. I really appreciate your time.
You're
Ladies,
welcome.
go check out Kim. She's doing great things, but she's just another example that you can create whatever you want in your life. Everything is available to you. Don't stop. One step forward. Never give up.
Yeah. Thanks, Sophie. Nice